Hey friends, it's Doc, and I got a busy day ahead of me. This is day 4 of the Dude, go ahead and do a video and create some content every day challenge. Sunday, the 17th of November. Can you believe it? It'll be Thanksgiving here in the States pretty soon, Christmas right after that, 2014, just beyond. Unbelievable, really. But let's get on with today. Today is tentatively called It Ain't About You. I may record this if I decide the ain't is a little bit casual, but I think it might be exactly right for what I want to talk about just here. I sat down this morning to prepare a blog post about one of my coaching students, more specifically her success, and I wrote the blog post. I think it turned out to be somewhere just over 400 words, maybe 430 words. And I reread it after I got back from church, and one of the things that I realized was that somehow all of her success had become about me when I sat down to write the blog post. Now, I'm human. I mean, I've got an ego just like everybody else, but the truth of the matter was I sort of refocused this lady. She did need focus. She was caught up in, bright, shiny object syndrome. But once I refocused her and gave her a couple of ideas for ways that I'd begun to make steady money, I told her, pick one and go to work. She really did do all the work. And I'll tell you something. It hasn't been that long ago. I think I made my first online money maybe 11 months back or so. And I remember the thrill, but I remember the days leading up to where I launched the funnel that made me those dollars, and it wasn't really even much of a funnel. It's scary, when you're getting ready to go live and you have got to deal with the idea that there may be rejection of the funnel that you've built. You may have built something and nobody comes. It's funny, I didn't have it back then. That actual first live funnel worked better than I could have imagined, but I have had it since, that feeling of rejection. So I certainly know what the lead-up period is like. I remember it, and I remember telling Maria that if she could just talk herself in, what's the best way? If she could just make herself understand that every failure is one step closer to success, that she'd be happier as she went about it. But I'm happy to say that her first funnel turned out to be just an amazing success, more successful than my first funnel. But anyway, getting back to this blog post, when I read it, I kept talking about how I'd told her to do this and I'd helped her to do this, and the truth is, she deserves more credit. It's great to be a part of it, and I was excited. But the lesson became clear to me, and that's why I wanted to do this video. Remember to reread or rewatch every video and make sure that it's not about you. Make sure that you don't find some way in there, as you try to perfectly with good nature teach others, that you don't find a way to grandstand or make it about you. For me, that's tough. I've had a career where it was almost necessary to be pretty egotistical and pretty driven at times. And as I've aged, I've tried to learn that confidence and ego don't necessarily have to walk together as you go forward, that confidence can exist without you pumping yourself up. And I hope you can get to the point where you'll do it as well. Maria is a fine story of a coaching student who blew past my expectations and exceeded what I had done when I first got started. And somewhere along the way, I began to believe that I could teach about her success and make it all about me. And I'm glad I caught it. I'm glad I read that first. She's remarkable. Your students want to know about your successes, but they want to know how they can do it themselves. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, this is a more humble Doc signing off and wishing you the best of the week ahead. Take care, guys.